Okay, guys, so while we're waiting for some more people to come on in, um, we'll just wait a second here. Looking at the economic calendar, I'll go over that in a second. That's going to be huge this week. That's everything this week, and that is going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are the big days. So I'll go over the important things to look for there. I'll also go over the market. I'm going to go over my absolutely most frustrating trading morning that I can remember in a long time. Very, very frustrating. So I want to make sure that we get, because this is a little bit delayed. So I want to make sure I get some more people in here before I go over that. I mean, how many of you have taken trades only to get stopped out, right? It hits your stop, and then it goes in the direction that you expected. That happened to me 2 times. So I went 0 for 2, took 2 trades, and they both went exactly where I thought they were going to go. And my stop was literally the top on both times. It's just frustrating. And I set my stop above the previous high. So you can just tell that that is a very, very choppy start to the morning. Now it's trading in pre-market, so it is what it is. You can expect that type of thing, trading an index in the pre-market. It is very tricky, but my trades were right, got stopped out before the move. My entries were not great. So got to work on the entries there. All right, so let's start looking at the economic calendar here. All right, so today we have inflation expectations at 11. It's possible that that could move markets around then because the market, like I said, it's so heavily relied on economic data and algorithms trading the market like I've never seen before. So you need to be aware of the economic calendar. It's very important. So that's today. Tomorrow, that's the big one, guys. I know that you guys, I mean, if you're not beginners, then you need to know. But if you've been around for a little while, you know that the CPI is going to be one of the biggest events, basically of this quarter. Because as we're going in to the year end here, we need to see what inflation looks like. So this is what the expected numbers are, and we'll see what we get. That's going to be tomorrow. That should be really interesting. And it doesn't get any easier from there. We have Wednesday, the funds rate announcement. All right. I would say 99% of the market is expecting 0.50 interest rate hike. So 50 basis points, that's what the market has expected, not expecting 75. So 50 is already locked in. And then at 2:30, you have Powell's news conference. Now, if you guys have been trading for a little while, you know that what happens here at 2 can change at 2:30 when Powell starts to speak. So very tough days to trade. CPI and FOMC in back-to-back days, I can't remember a time where this is going to be that difficult to trade. And, while today's just Monday, we came in this morning, and this is, by the way, my trading. But we came in this morning and we saw that the VIX is up a lot. The VIX is up over 6%. And the market, pre-market, is up. That's very unusual. So a lot of times when the VIX gaps up like this, you'll see the market pull on back. Now, that hasn't happened yet. That was my intention all morning. I just got bad entries. But when the VIX is up like this, that's definitely a sign that, and this is the daily chart on it. So this is something we posted on our weekly watch list video. Very clear support down here around 19 to 20, and we bounced. So when it comes down like this, the market goes up, and that's what we saw since October. Now we're at support on VIX. When VIX rises, the market pulls on back. So you got to be aware of that. Also, the treasury yields, when they go up, the market pulls on back. You can see here from the whole year, what has the yields done? What have the yields done? They've gone up from the bottom left of a chart to the top right. We pulled on back. The market went up since October, like we saw. And now we're starting to get support here at this trend line. And we'll see if we could get that rise. And if we do, depends on the Fed, it depends on CPI. But if the yields do go up, which would suggest that the Fed has to raise and keep the rates higher longer, if that news comes out, then the market's going to go down. This is going to go up. And that's just the way that it's been all year long. All right, so that's that. All right, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to take a look at the SPY, see where we are on the daily chart. All right, so you can see here, we're right at that ascending trend line. And by the way, it's pretty cold up here in the Northeast. Just realized I got all my stuff here. I had to take my kids to school. So we're at this ascending trend line here. The 20 EMA got rejected here. I want to see us break over the 20. We break over the 20, we have a clear line here to 400 and 402.87, which is the 200 moving average. Technically speaking, we still are in an uptrend. Even though things have been very wild here the last month, we're still in an uptrend because we have not broken this trend yet. So it's most likely going to break with the Fed or CPI. Now, we saw here on this day, this is when Powell was speaking, and he came out and had this, and by the way, we were right at support. He came out and struck such a dovish tone. By dovish, that means the Fed sounded like it was less hawkish and that they would be eventually pulling rates back in, and the market loved that. And, you know, for whatever reason he decided to talk like that, the market rallied right into our trend line and then pulled on back. So you can see here that when Powell speaks, you can get a very big move. So that's what we're going to be looking for this week with CPI and Powell. We got 15 minutes to the bell. Something nice here is our pre-market momentum stocks. So our momentum stocks have been great just the last 2 days. HTGM, look at this volume, over 30 million shares traded already, and it's up over 150%, currently at 185%. That is so great to see for momentum. APVO, this one also gave some really nice opportunities to trade them. All right. It's been a very long time since we've seen something gapping up 180% and over 90% in the same day. So that's great to see. And that is because AM from Friday made this epic move from 41 cents, 1,000% move to fours, pulled on back to VWAP, back to the fours. That is just an incredibly strong move. Very, very nice to see. And that gets a lot of attention in those stocks that started off under $1. And that's what we see here with HTGM started out under $1. All right. So that's the type of momentum we're seeing right now. If you trade momentum stocks, you need to be aware of what the catalysts are for these. And if you get sympathy momentum, where can it come from? And that's exactly what happened there with HTGM. APVO had some news here on, I think this was a phase 1, which isn't usually that great. So they plan a phase 2. This was 100% clinical benefit from a phase 1 trial. So it's still good, but phase 2 and 3, those are really the good ones. But this had a good float. Only 5 million shares here. HTGM, great float, only 11 million shares there. So seeing some nice momentum there. That's good to see. Also HARP. All right, that's a good catalyst. A little bit higher of a float, but still okay. See if my Bookmap. So I signed up for Bookmap on Thinkorswim this morning, and the free version gives you, I think Apple, the ES, and one other one. The only thing is the ES is not working at the moment. I think because the charts switched over to the March expiration, that the December expiration, for whatever reason, was just taking a very long time to load. So eventually we'll get ES in here. And then once I have ES in here, I'll be able to trade the Micro E-mini off of the ES Bookmap and start to learn where the big orders are piled, and where we can possibly see moves to. And I'll go over all that in a little bit. But yeah, Bookmap is something interesting. It's something new. A lot of people are trading with it lately, so I figured if a lot of people are using it, I might as well learn it. So that's why I'm looking at Bookmap right now too. Ooh, it's a big pullback there on HARP. Big flush. I feel like HTGM is going to rip when the market opens. It's holding up really good too. So if traders missed AM on Friday, there's going to be that FOMO. When the market opens, we'll see. Like we saw with the other one, it went up 1,000%. 1,000%. So that's going to bring us, if this one does the same thing, that should bring us to, almost $4, $5 a share. Very similar move to AM. Now, AM is also going to be on a lot of people's watch lists. All right, now I want to go over the most frustrating trading morning that I've had in a very long time. Really disgusting. So this is what I came in, and this is what I'm looking at, right? We gapped up a little bit, and then we had this resistance right around the 3980 area on MES March expiration. And this is where I wanted to take my trades. Now, I was coming in, yes, with a bit of a bias, but the bias, in my opinion, was well deserved. The VIX was up over 6%. In my experience, the VIX, when it's up that much, you will see a pullback in the market. It's just tough to know when. that will happen. And it doesn't have to happen just because it's happened in the past. But that's the way I trade, based on patterns, based on history, and that's what I use. And that's why we watch the markets every day. So it just didn't work out for me this morning because of my entries. Now, I was entering these positions instead of at resistance. I was entering them down here at about 378, 379 area, when I should have been entering at 3980. But even then, I still would have gotten stopped out on this, this wick up there. But the way that I traded this was just frustrating because I saw us starting to roll over here, making a series of lower highs, right? I get in short for that rollover and end up pushing up. My stop was right here at 3982.25, and then it came right back down and I would have been in the green. Now I'll show trades here so you guys can see. My stop out was to the penny. Let me just go over to the 1 minute. All right, make this a little bigger for you guys. So this is what I was talking about. I get in here, I see it, it looked good to me at the time. It did look good to me. I thought we were going to start to roll over, and then we go up and I get stopped out, like I said, right here at the top, and then it comes all the way back down. Not too long after either. And I knew when I got stopped out on this wick, I said to myself, it's going to come back down. And it did. Very frustrating. So I got in again here short. Now, this is the problem. When you have a very strong feeling for something, right? Because the markets are based on emotions, they're based on other market participants that are also trading the same things as you. Now, when I'm down here, I'm saying to myself, and I'm starting to get really frustrated at this point because it did come back down. So I want to get in short again. And I'm getting in short with the same size. I'm looking for that move down, this move right here. I end up getting stopped out at literally the top of this. I mean, you could not have predicted this, my stop out. And this was not, in my opinion, I was not putting this in a very obvious area. I had given myself enough room. It just ended up wicking me out both times. It happens, but if you're not going to put stops in and you're just going to hold and hope something happens, that's not trading. Now, this happens every once in a while. And as I am 0 for 2 for the morning, I'm just going to stop trading at this point because I could tell that I'm already just emotionally drained from seeing these moves. And I don't want to go into the market open and try to get this all back and then dig myself an even bigger hole, which has happened in the past, and I'm not looking for that to happen again. I mean, it's just been in this range, but these two pops over this got me shaken out. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. A lot of these are looking good. These were called out in our Discord group also. So maybe some people got this. But just because you know something's, in the direction that you're looking for, it does come down to entries. If my entries were better, I wouldn't have gotten stopped out on my MES trade. Look at this, 2 over 100% now. That's a great sign. Combined 43 million shares of volume between these two. 43 million. shares, and the market hasn't even opened yet. It's been a slow month for momentum, so this has definitely been a very nice sight to see, I'm sure, for a lot of traders. That was some drop in that last half an hour. Wow. Big drop on SPY that last half an hour. Really ugly trading. Look at this trading from the last couple days. Gross. Look at this. Look at this chop. Very tough. This trend line's been pretty good though. The trend line has been holding up. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anything can happen tomorrow and Wednesday. All right, we got 3 minutes to the bell. I hope that you guys have a better trading morning than I did. Yeah, and we'll just go from there. Thanks for watching.